Welcome back. The Trump administration filing federal charges against an illegal immigrant convicted of manslaughter after Fox News exposed California's plans to release him more than 6 years early. Oscar Eduardo Ortega Anguiano faced a 10-year prison sentence for a deadly drunk driving arrest in November of 2021. He was going over 100 miles an hour when he crashed into a car, killing two 19-year-olds. But California's state government wanted to release him 6 years early. Governor Gavin Newsom's office revealing that his state will now comply with ICE after these plans were exposed. U.S. Border Czar Tom Homan vowing to deport him. Joining me now, U.S. Customs and Border Protection Senior Advisor Ronald Vitiello. Ronald, always great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Trump just posting on Truth Social moments ago, quote, "The southern border is now the strongest and safest in USA history. It will remain so." Your reaction to that and the notion that California would try to take a criminal and release them early, it's just beyond.
Thanks for inviting me, Jackie. First, on the thing in California, Trump is moving the needle. Right? The leadership at the Department of Homeland Security with Kristi Noem, we're moving the needle. These states are now realizing that their constituency wants protection. They want common sense as it relates to people who are in the country illegally and commit other crimes. And so hats off to the journalists that expose this story. And now the folks, the men and women from ICE can take that person out of the California custody and put them on the path to removal. And then the Trump effect at the border, we've seen the lowest numbers in March than we've ever seen in the history of the country. And so the men and women of the front line have been given the tools by the White House, the emergency declaration, the end of catch and release, other authorities that allow people who are still invading the country to be taken into custody and quickly removed out of the United States. The signal has gone across the globe that says if you come in now, you're going to be turned around and sent home. And so that Trump effect is succeeding in the way where you have all of the departments of the government leaning in, helping the front line, and then you have other countries in the region and without that are helping us take their citizens back. And then we saw the events in El Salvador where they're helping us with these vicious gang members, these terrorist organizations like MS-13 and Tren de Aragua.
Yeah, it's not just ICE or CBP. It's also the DOJ. It just indicted alleged high-ranking Tren de Aragua member on terrorism charges. The first time these kinds of charges have been used to prosecute a member of the violent gang. So the FBI found that the Venezuelan government officials, quote, likely facilitate the use of Tren de Aragua as proxies to undermine public safety in the United States. Border Czar Tom Homan telling reporters the U.S. is going to keep cracking down on the deadly gang. Listen to this.
Can you give us an update on the crackdown in New York City of Tren de Aragua members?
That's a classic example how collaboration between ICE and state and local law enforcement, the success of the collaboration. 27 Tren de Aragua people were indicted. I believe 6 are still outstanding. We're looking for them. But we send a strong message to Tren de Aragua. We're going to keep doing this to every TDA member, MS-13 members removed from the country.
Ronald, we were talking about Fox News polling before, and the president is polling very high when it comes to immigration and the border. He's delivering on his promises. I think this is a pretty solid example. Your thoughts?
100%. Tom knows that the authorities in New York have leaned in on behalf of the citizens of that city, right? They leaned in to help find these gang members. And then the leadership that the president has shown in designating Tren de Aragua a terrorist organization puts all the tools of the federal government at play and shows how valuable it is with the immigration and border security nexus to go after these worst of the worst and get them out of our society and put them on a path for removal and treat them like the terrorists that they are, because they are affiliated with the government and they have been a detriment to the safety and society in places like New York, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, and Los Angeles.
Yeah, and ICE's partnership with Mexican law enforcement resulting in the arrest of a major cartel boss in Mexico. The investigation led them to the Sinaloa cartel member known simply as 440. He's allegedly led several drug plazas across the entire Mexican border with Arizona. ICE saying that the arrest marked a major milestone. I want to get your reaction to this. It certainly sounds like it's a major milestone.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Again, the Mexican government writ large is leaning in on combating these terrorist organizations that we used to call drug cartels, including the Sinaloa cartel. So my hat's off to the front line there at DHS, the leadership at DHS, and the individual investigators that made this case and brought that person into custody. It's another example of what happens when you have someone in the Oval Office that has a backbone and can use common sense and apply the law enforcement resources that exist in the United States and in Mexico to keep us safe and deteriorate the capability of these cartels in Mexico.
Ron, what do you make of the Democrats that are trying to stall the process of deportations? They're either fighting in their sanctuary cities or, these are cases that are going to court. They're going to get held up there potentially. Your thoughts on because in our polling as well, it showed that the Democrats just really, the support for Donald Trump in any way, in any bipartisan way, just because he is simply our leader, has absolutely plummeted. It almost seems like they're using these issues to sabotage everything that he's doing.
It is very unfortunate. The president is succeeding. Part of the resistance in the Democratic Party is because we're winning, because the policies of common sense and taking criminals and terrorists out of the country and sending them away is a good thing for America. It's good for public safety, and it will make America safe again. And these Democrats that go and shill for criminal terrorists that are in other countries or in detention centers in the United States is a destructive policy. They're only doing it because they know they're losing, and that the president's common sense policies are prevailing.
Yeah, and the American people understand that. He's working for the American people, Ronald, and we appreciate everything you do as well as the context you provide. Ronald Vitiello, thank you.
Thanks, Jackie.